Bueno, muy buenas tardes a todas y todos. Le doy la más cordial bienvenida en nombre del Instituto de Chile. Voy a recordar brevemente que lo que es el Instituto de Chile es una corporación autónoma que se creó hace más de 60 años y que integra a las 6 academias nacionales que tenemos en Chile. La más antigua es la lengua, que tiene más de 150 años. Tenemos también la Academia de Historia, la Academia de Ciencias, la Academia de Medicina, la Academia de Ciencias Sociales, Políticas y Morales. Y por último también tenemos a la Academia de Bellas Artes. La misión del instituto y de sus academias es cultivar, proteger y proyectar el conocimiento en toda su forma, velando por la continuidad, renovación de las ciencias, las artes y las humanidades como pilares de la vida intelectual, cultural y democrática del país. El Instituto de Chile, desde su historia, reúne 174 premios nacionales distribuidos en las distintas academias. Bueno, yo tuve la oportunidad hace poco, mi nombre es Sergio Lavandero, soy presidente del Instituto de Chile y de la Academia Chilena de Ciencias, y tuve la oportunidad de asistir hace como un par de semanas a Río de Janeiro, donde se celebró una reunión, primero un día, la reunión de las Academias de Ciencia de Latinoamérica, y al día siguiente un encuentro de lo que se llama la RELAI, que es una red latinoamericana de agencias de innovación. Y en ambas eh, reuniones tuve la oportunidad de escuchar dos charlas del doctor Virgilio Almeida. Él es profesor emérito de la Universidad Federal de Minas Gerais y Faculty Associate en Harvard. Y me pareció muy interesante las dos charlas. La primera, aún me recuerdo de que manifestaba cómo la guerra entre Ucrania y Rusia ha cambiado por el tema de la inteligencia artificial. Y la segunda, de un tema que es de amplia discusión en todos los países, acerca del rol que va a tener la inteligencia artificial, la vinculación que tiene con la ciencia. Y antes de despedirme, le pedí a Virgilio si podría eventualmente hacer una charla para el Instituto de Chile. Así que, Virgilio, te doy la más cordial bienvenida y te dejamos ahora con tu presentación. Si quieres, lo puedes hacer en inglés, en portugués, como tú desees. Gracias.
Gracias, Sergio. Sergio, is for me, it's a pleasure and honor to be speaking at the Instituto de Chile, and I would like to thank Sergio Lavander, Professor Sergio Lavandero, for this nice invitation. And actually, what I'm going to talk today, it's based on the talk that I gave in Rio at the FINEP, which is one of the Brazilian funding agencies. So my idea here is to present the scenario for artificial intelligence, the global scenario, and also what are the impacts on our region, on Latin America. So I'm going to start with, actually, as Professor Lavandero mentioned in the beginning, the Instituto de Chile has scientists from many different areas. And I think that this is an important aspect of AI. We need science from different domains. And so I'm going to start with this. I'm going to quote this Professor Edward Wilson from Harvard. He was an American biologist, naturalist, and ecologist. He came several times to Brazil, and in particular, he came to Amazonia and studied the natural resources of the Amazonia region. And there is a nice quote from him when he was giving a speech at a commencement in a university in the US in 2011. And he said the following: we will have to evolve a better world order than the one we have now, which I like to call our Star Wars civilization. And what I mean for that is that we have Stone Age emotions, medieval institutions, and godlike technology. And he says, and in the case of our technology, we are seeing things going almost beyond the control of our imagination. So he said that 13 years ago. So you all can imagine what would be his his words for the current technology of artificial intelligence. So it is interesting that actually we are not talking about the future anymore. That's the real situation. I like to use this picture because it shows that the digital transformation made a lot of impact on society, on the economy, on science. But this one is interesting. It's a graph published in a journal in the US, in a scientific journal, that shows how couples meet in the US. And they present data from 1950s to 2021, 22. And we can see here that in the 50s, people met in college, at the work, through family, through friends, and in the graduate school in the U.S. But then in the 80s, this started to change when we saw the appearance of the internet, and then the blogs and the bulletin boards. And so people started meeting at those online space. And now we can see that most of people in the US, they meet through these applications, so date applications, where where couples are formed. So it is interesting to see that we see emerging forms of social and affective relationships. And in this digital age, the algorithms, they play a crucial role making recommendation, which is which is the favorite type for this person or for that person. So we see that the digital technologies are changing a lot of aspects of our modern life. So let's move to this question that we are now observing, the evolution of AI. And I'd like to present to show that there is a word that defines the characteristic of this AI era, which is uncertainty. So we see that AI is transforming decision making across science and society by reshaping uncertainty rather than eliminating it. So uncertainty is a key characteristic of this era. As AI shapes research, healthcare, business, politics, the workplace, and public institutions, it challenges the long-standing assumptions about evidence, responsibility, accountability, and certainty. And finally, understanding and governing AI will require rethinking how science, law, and public policy operate under persistent uncertainty. So this is a key characteristic of our times. So let's move to, to take a look at what I call the global AI landscape. And there are two characteristic here. It's a rapid progress and high stakes. So as AI may soon surpass human capabilities in many important tasks. So what are the potential and the potential consequences, and what are the major risks? The transformative potential is we hope to have better healthcare. We hope to increase the process of scientific discovery. We aim at achieving higher productivity. We also aim at improving education, and we hope that this technology can help us help society to protect environment. So these are very positive potential transformation that will be made possible by AI. But also there are, on the other side, there are risks, major risks. Increase inequality, spread misinformation, strengthen surveillance, enable cybercrime and automated warfare, and one of the the biggest risk is the concentration of power in few governments and technology companies. So the central question that I would like to discuss with you in this charla is AI's future will depend not only on technology, but also on governance, regulation, and public accountability. So we are living a special time because the AI evolution is moving very quickly, and we don't understand what what they call the frontier technology. So we need science because there is a short window, a limited window to understand what is AI. So the first point is AI systems are becoming more powerful at a pace that exceeds our ability to understand how they work internally. The opportunity to develop scientific understanding of advanced AI may be closing. So that's an important point for us in Latin America. Society may have only a limited window to develop a science of AI before systems become too powerful and complex to be reliably understood, controlled, and governed. And we see this in the media almost every day about the advances of OpenAI, Anthropic, and Google. And so that's something that we should work to bring science to help us to understand what is going on with this frontier AI. So the closing window to understand AI. So what are the characteristics? First, AI capabilities are advancing rapidly. Frontier AI models exhibit complex reasoning, planning, and emergent behavior. Understanding these systems lags behind performance. Researchers can measure what AI systems do, but often cannot explain how internal representations and decisions are formed. Future systems may become harder to study, and finally, scientific understanding is essential for safety. Without deeper mechanics insight, it will be difficult to predict failures, detect deception, ensure alignment, or govern increasingly capable AI systems. So this is the picture that we see now. And what can we do as researchers and scientists? And there is a key question that we would like to to answer what kind of AI future for Latin America. So that's the key question for us in Chile, in Brazil, in Mexico, in Argentina. So there are many possible AI futures. Many of them we don't want. For example, this picture here shows a picture that is displayed in many places in the city of San Francisco. Stop hiring humans. The era of AI employees is here. So they are referring to the AI agents. Oh, this one based on an article that was published in the New York Times. Silicon Valley is bracing for a permanent underclass. Or this one that just came out a few days ago in the Guardian. Will it take a Chernobyl scale disaster for us to regulate AI? So these are futures that we should avoid. So that's the message here. And there are big risks, such as the biggest AI companies are racing to replace humans. However, a different, better path is possible. It depends on us. It depends on the governance process of in our countries. It depends on the regulation, and it depends on the incentives that we have to work on different forms of AI. Another big risk. Forget the AI job apocalypse. AI's real threat is control and surveillance, or AI social risks, where the algorithm misalignment occurs when an AI system is optimized to achieve a specific target, but its actual execution undermines human values or well-being. So that's something that we also want to control and avoid. And finally, we can summarize all these points in one question that is central for our times. How do you govern machines that can learn? That's what policymakers in different countries are trying to figure out. So once that we know this big picture and the risks and the possibilities and the positive of the positive consequence of AI, we need to work on what I call a Latin American AI agenda. So shaping responsible AI futures in Latin America. The first point that I would like to emphasize here is the AI future is a matter of choice. It depends on the decisions our societies make today. So it's not in we can avoid to have future scenarios that we just saw here with big impact on negative impact on society. So we need to define what we want for the future. In this case, governance is essential. Effective AI governance requires collaboration among governments, academia, industry, and civil society. And this is a point that I would like also to call your attention. AI should serve the public good. Beyond economic value, AI should improve healthcare, education, science, and trustworthy information. So this what I want to show with this slide is Latin America must shape its own AI future. We need to build local scientific knowledge here. We need technological innovation. Everything is essential to reduce dependency and promote inclusive AI. So I have some specific comments on this uh, AI future in Latin America. So the point here is that in Brazil, in many other countries in Latin America, research is funded by governments, which is different from the US, where the big companies fund a lot of the research activities. So looking at this AI scenario, we need to start thinking about what would be the new role of funding agencies in our countries. So my view is based mainly on what I see in Brazil, but I think it applies to other countries in Latin America. The first thing is that we have to take the future of AI into our hands. We should not depend on 3 or 4 companies to decide what will be AI in our countries. So Latin America must shape its own AI future. And what I call the AI, the new role of funding agencies. The first one is these agencies should go beyond funding research. They should help steer AI development toward the public good. And that's something that we should not forget. The public good can be achieved through funding specific projects. Align investments with national priorities. Support AI for education, healthcare, productivity, climate resilience, and public services. Invest in research on AI risks. Address labor market disruption, concentration of power, misinformation, cybersecurity, and military AI. So basically, we need to, to create governance frameworks that balance innovation and regulation. We should foster AI ecosystems to promote scientific progress, economic growth, and social inclusion while ensuring the benefits are broadly shared and not. And I think that one of the major problems that we see is this concentration of power in 3 or 4 companies in 2 countries. We need to ensure that the benefits are broadly shared worldwide. So some points that are related to this idea of having funding agencies helping the country to define the AI future. The first one is AI evolves faster than traditional policy and funding cycles. So this demands more agile governance and investment mechanism. If it takes 2 or 3 years to obtain resources for a fundamental research project, it will not work. We need to be we need to have this the response from the agencies very quickly in order to move to this AI area where everything goes so fast. We need to accelerate funding process by reducing the time from proposal submission to implementation. That is key for AI-based research projects. And it's important to note that when I talk about AI research, I'm not talking about only computer science. It's AI research in healthcare, AI research in education, AI research in economics. So AI is a cross-cutting technology that is changing all domains of knowledge. We need to prioritize investments in strategic national challenges where AI can generate significant economic and social impact. We need to build strong AI ecosystems through collaboration among universities, startups, industry, government, and civil society. Also, the change that we expect from the funding agencies here in Brazil to promote interdisciplinary research that combines computer science and engineering with economics, social science, law, philosophy, and public policy. And this, the number 6 is key. It's very important. Make capacity building a core objective of AI programs, expanding the pipeline of researchers, engineers, and AI literate professionals. Number 7 is also a key recommendation. Integrate education and training into research projects. So research projects should not only develop technology or knowledge, but to educate and train people. So the idea is to develop human capital alongside technological innovation. And finally, invest in shared digital infrastructure, including computing resources, data sets, and open research platform. So these are some of the ideas that I listed as possible changes that funding agents can implement to foster the development of AI technology in our country. And this is also an important point. Why multidisciplinary matters? And this is interesting because the hardest questions now in AI, even in computer science, are no longer about capability, but about values. One example is how can we provide what is called the value alignment, the social, the society value alignment with the algorithms and AI systems. The challenge is no longer what AI can do, but the values that guide its decisions. Every AI system embodies assumptions about truth, freedom, dignity, and responsibility. And once deployed in courts, hospitals, schools, or government, AI is no longer just software. It becomes a form of power. So we need the participation of scientists from different domains of knowledge in order to create the AI future that we want. So I thought about some research priorities for Latin America, based on what I see here in my country, in Brazil, but also based on what I talk to colleagues from different countries in Latin America. So I listed some strategic research priorities here. The first one is leverage AI to advance the sustainable development goals to and address Latin America's most pressing challenges. So climate change, food security, sustainability are also big concerns for our countries. And we think that we should use AI in order to advance the goals of the SDGs. And we have not seen yet a lot of results in this area of using AI for achieving the SDGs, but that's something that should be a priority for our countries. Understand how AI shapes individual and collective behavior. It's also very important, especially in countries in the political process of the different countries in Latin America. We have been observing that social media using AI algorithms have a lot of influence on the elections, and we need to work to protect the electoral process, the elections, and also the society. The third point is develop evidence-based strategies to mitigate AI risks, harms, and inequalities. We should study the impact of generative AI on information ecosystems, democracy, and culture. All of those research priorities will be important all over the world, but will be very important for our countries because most of the countries are trying to protect their electoral process, to protect democracy, to protect the environment. So we need to pay attention to these possibilities that are offered by AI research. And finally, we need to generate knowledge grounded in Latin American realities, rather than relying solely on models and evidence developed elsewhere. So I think that each country will have a different list of research priorities, but many of them will are common for all countries in Latin America. And we need to understand that research will be a foundation of AI sovereignty in Latin America. It's important to create mechanisms to reduce dependence on foreign AI technology and platforms. To do that, we need to invest in scientific capacity, talent, data, computing infrastructure, and research. We also need to develop AI aligned with Latin America's priority, language, social realities, and culture. Our culture is, there is a common culture that connects many of the countries in Latin America, language, music, religion, many things that are important for our societies. And finally, we need to strengthen regional cooperation to build technological capacity and AI sovereignty. So we have countries like Chile that is very advanced in computer science, with very good computer science department and very important researchers in the global scenario, such as Ricardo, Baeza, Yates, and others. So I think that we need to create mechanisms for this regional cooperation to build this technological capacity and AI sovereignty. And the final message here is AI is a strategic technology, not just another digital tool. And it's a dual use technology for civil society and for military. So that's going to be a key technology in the future. Latin America must shape its own AI future. Research and innovation are the foundation of effective AI governance. And funding agencies, which is the main subject of this talk, must invest in both AI opportunities and AI risks. And the time to act is now. We need to work to create the future that we want for our region. So that's the message that this short message that I want to transmit to the friends in Chile. and to thank again Sergio, Professor Sergio Lavandero, for this invitation, for nice invitation. Thank you.
Okay, Virgilio, nice talk. Maybe some people can make some questions.
Okay.
No veo la pantalla toda, así que no sé quién está preguntando a alguien.
Sergio,
Virgilio, we
I
have
have a question.
Okay, Miss Cecilia first.
Okay, thank you, Sergio. Thank you, Virgilio. Very, very interesting talk. Do you think it would be possible to organize workshops on AI, inviting all countries in Latin America and to have them soon?
Well, I think, first, Cecilia, thank you for your question. I think that's something that we should try to plan and start doing that, creating workshops on specific topics that are important for Latin America and invite researchers, scientists, and the young scientists. It's important to bring young scientists to this topic because the future will be based on that. So that's a good suggestion.
I have one question. We have a lot of discussion in Chile about the regulation of AI. So, in your experience, because we have different model, one is Europe, another could be the Asia, and others for us is US. In your opinion, what could be better for Latin America?
So, in the case, what I have observed here in Brazil, we tried twice in the last 4 years to have a law to regulate the digital service and AI, especially the digital service, and they were not approved in Congress. And I will explain why. But there is a bill in the Senate to regulate AI, and it's similar to what Europe has done with the AI Act. But at the same time, I think that we saw here in Brazil some progress. Recently, Congress approved what is called the ECA Digital. ECA is the Estatuto da Criança e Adolescente, which create the rules to protect children in the social in the digital space, and that somehow affects AI. AI technology because of the generation of pictures, videos, audio, and so we think in our countries we should try to start with the problems that are more critical to society. And in the case of this regulation, it was what the society expected to protect kids. So we need to understand now what will be the critical problems that this frontier AI will bring to our countries, and then work to minimize the impact. I think that it's not simple. Europe has done a very good work on regulation on AI Act, but it has been very difficult to implement that. There is another experience here in Brazil that may be useful to other countries. It is what we have called the provisional governance. And that is a specific governance for a specific problem. Now we have elections in Brazil. We're going to have elections, the presidential elections in Brazil in November. So the electoral tribunal, electoral institution creates some specific rules for this period of time that goes from, I think, 2 months before the election and 1 month after the election to protect the election, the use of AI in the election. So it's not a big law, but it's a set of rules that should be observed by the companies in the use of AI technology. So I think that countries will have to find what are important for them in order to create the regulation. But regulation should not block innovation. And if we see other technologies, for instance, aviation or even the drugs and medicines, they have a lot. There is a lot of regulation, and there is also a lot of innovation that protects society. So I think that we will continue discussing that, and it would be interesting to see if we can find some common points among the Latin American countries that will help to strengthen the idea of regulation in our region.
Okay. ¿Más preguntas? ¿Alguna pregunta en español o en inglés?
Oh, en portugués?
O portugués también, portuñol también.
Sí, portuñol.
Preguntas con... Bueno, yo creo que estamos en la hora, así que Virgilio, 1 millón, many thanks for your kind presentation. I hope to see you again in the near future in Chile or Brazil. So thank you so much.
Muito obrigado, Sérgio. Foi um prazer e uma honra estar aqui com os colegas de Chile. Boas noites.
Un aplauso.
Tchau.